What's up, everybody? John with Teamsetpass, and finally, I have my updated how to play Cyber Dragon video for you guys. We're gonna cover some tips, basic tips on the deck, some plays like neat interactions that certain cards have with each other, and then what we're gonna call the combo section. So I hope you guys really enjoy. Go subscribe, stay up to date on the different things we're doing. I'm going to a regional tomorrow, so hopefully I do really well there. Regardless, I will have the deck profile up for you guys shortly. Lots of other projects in the works, more generic stuff. I'm going to start up the regional recap project, kind of how you see Yugi tubers doing the deck breakdowns for top cuts of like YCSs or UDSs, Pro Play Tour events. I on Facebook was keeping track of all the top 8s at regionals, at least stateside, where it's easy for me to do. Foreign ones are more than welcome. If you join the Facebook group, you can help me out tremendously getting those top 8s in. But we're going to kind of get a tier list going for the regional level because so many more people can make regionals than they can YCS level events. And not only that, you'd be surprised how many decks will get like random tops at like 5, 6 different regionals, but they never see the light of day at a YCS. So it's good to know that those decks are out there and you may see them at the regional level. So I feel like it'll help the not necessarily pro players, but the semi-competitive players the most. So I'll have a link below for the Facebook group. Without further ado, let's start with talking about some of the cards in the deck and just like basic tips off of them. A lot of the things I'm going to cover now are things I've seen in the Facebook group for Cyber Dragons. I will also have that link down below to anyone who would like to join the Cyber Dragon page. Arguably one of the better Cyber Dragon pages on Facebook. So these are things I've seen people disagree or just straight up not know recently. If they Solemn Judgment your core, the summon never happens, so its search effect never happened, meaning you can use the Banish from Grave effect to special summon from your deck. Another thing I've seen, core and hers are not worded the same, whereas you can banish cores and use the graveyard effect and summon any Cyber Dragon monster, meaning Cyber Dragon core, Cyber Dragon hers, Naxter, Fear, Dry, any of them. Whereas Cyber Dragon hers is strictly Cyber Dragon, but remember core, Fear, Naxter, they're all Cyber Dragon in the graveyard. So graveyard you can add any, but from the deck hers can only add Cyber Dragon because it is not a Cyber Dragon monster, it's just Cyber Dragon. Fear not only chain blocks Ash for core, say they have Appaloosa or some type of monster negator on the field, Jackal King, something of that sort. You can summon your core, search Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, Fear. Now they have to negate Fear. You can chain block your core from a lot of stuff that way. Also, it is not just a hand trap chain blocker. Cyber Emergency, I feel like this is really prevalent right now because there are a lot of monsters and cards out there that currently negate activations. Ash Blossom is not one of these cards that negates the effect, but anything that negates the activation of Emergency, you can discard a card and add it back to your hand and replay it. If you have another copy in your hand, obviously you're not going to do that. You'll just play the second copy because the activation is negated, therefore you did not actually use it as the once per turn clause. I played a True King Dino deck. He had Calamities, Nat Beast, and Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Went through half his deck, and I played Emergency, and I had Overflow in hand too, and a bunch of Cyber Dragons. The monsters, I think I had Core, Hurts, Fear, just all kinds of stuff. So I played it, and he kept negating it with Nat Beast, and then he was down to like 8 cards in his deck. I set Overflow. His turn, I blew up his entire field, and he literally could not play. He had to scoop. Using cards like Cyber Repair Plant and Cyber Load Fusion to be shuffling back our Cyber Dragon, the original, to keep our machine dupes live so you're not running extra bricks in the deck once you use 1 or possibly 2 of them. If you have 3 Cyber Dragons in your graveyard, activate both Repair Plant effects. A lot of the time you're not going to miss that one OG in your graveyard. It really does come in handy, especially in grindier games. Cyber Rev System, I think people overlook the it cannot be destroyed by card effects portion a lot. Certain decks do have issues with you Rev System back a Seeger. If they can't lower its attack or beat over the 4200 beater, they can't destroy it by card effects, and it can boost himself to 4200 anytime they try to attack it. So it can cause problems for certain decks to get over it. Another thing about Cyberload Fusion, assuming you have a banished Cyber Dragon monster or another one on board and you summon your core, if your opponent tries to do an on-field negate like a Widow Anchor, Infinite Impermanence, you can chain Cyberload Fusion using your core and the other monster that's banished or on your field and go into your Rampage. Now they lost their target to negate, so core search will go through in that case. Versatility, I don't think there's a card better for us than Foolish Burial. Whether you Foolish your Hearse to get anything back from your graveyard, or just Foolishing one of your OGs or your Fear to make your Repair Plant live. You can, some people still play 3 Galaxy Soldiers. You could technically Foolish one to get it out of the deck so you don't draw into it. And another thing about that, if you already use 2 and you're playing 3 Galaxy Soldier and you have 3 Cyber Dragons in your graveyard, use Repair Plant. You'll add the third one to your hand and then shuffle one from your graveyard back into the deck, so that way you can still get off the effects again and not be just running the bricks in the deck. But Foolish Burial, you can also Foolish your Cyber Dragon core to banish it right away, to special summon like a Naxter to get back something out of your graveyard. Like I said, making Repair Plant live, just making your Overload Fusions live faster. Just so many uses for Foolish Burial. And for a while I wondered why I ran it when I was already over 40 cards. Why not just cut it? But the consistency it adds, the plays it helps contribute to it, is just really irreplaceable for us. Assuming you already had a turn and you set your Overflow, Overflow can protect core search in the same way that Cyberload Fusion does. Anything that negates the on the field, you could chain Overflow, banishing your core to protect core search. And the last little quick tip we're going to cover, I'm sure there's a lot more. I mean, there's always stuff that I don't know, that other people don't know. None of us know everything, and I would love to hear anything I may forget down below in the Facebook group for Teamsetpass or in the Facebook group for Cyber Dragons. Please let me know anything I may forget, or if I do get something wrong, because we're all humans, we all make mistakes. I would absolutely love for you to point it out and let me know. Salamangreat Almirage, ending with this, Infinity, and Overflow is a solid board and can actually cause decent problems if you time everything right and your opponent doesn't just happen to open the perfect outs. But then as soon as they draw their card, draw phase, just chain Almirage and then target your Infinity. It can't be destroyed by card effects now. I've beaten Thunder Dragon and other decks because of that, and they just couldn't get over my blowing their field up and negating and destroying with Infinity, and then they couldn't destroy it by card effect either. So it really came in handy. Now we're going to cover some just neat interactions that certain cards have, some plays you can do. First off, Cyber Dragon Naxter. If you summon Cyber Dragon Naxter while you have Karibo in the graveyard, and you target, say, Cyber Dragon Infinity, it's in your graveyard, you summon your Naxter and target Infinity, your opponent activates Widow Anchor, Infinite Impermanence, another on-field negate of the such. You can chain Lin Karibo from the graveyard because Naxter does not lock you into machines until it resolves as the Monster Reborn effect. So, in other words, it would resolve backwards in that Karibo tributes Naxter, summons itself. Their card resolves with no effect because it lost its target, and then Naxter still resolves. I've also seen that people thought this meant it resolves in the graveyard. I guess Silent Graveyard would be a card, or Abyss Dweller, where that would matter. That's not true. All cards activate and resolve in the same place, even if they don't remain in that location. So it still resolves on the field, not in the graveyard. Or if you have your Cyber Dragon Nova, a lot of the time I love doing this. I'll detach a material and summon a Cyber Dragon Hearse in attack position. And then when you overlay into your Infinity, you absorb your Cyber Dragon Hearse with your Infinity. So on your opponent's turn, not only do you negate and destroy one of their cards, Hertz can grab your core or your Naxter or Cyber Dragon for you. It can just make you plus even more. So you're negating and destroying their card, and you're grabbing a key piece to get your combo rolling for your follow-up play for your next turn, and to really just help get your opponent in a position where you can win much easier. When you summon your Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon, assuming you have another level 5 on the field, say you mill your 2, you can mill your Hearse and your core, your Hearse and your Naxter, and then Hearse effect to get your Naxter or your core back to your hand. So that's a really good thing to know also. But otherwise, just in general, milling 2 as long as 1 is Naxter, and then using your Rampage and your other level 5 overlay into your Nova, and then Nova detach Rampage to special summon your Naxter, and then Naxter's effect, you can summon the Rampage Dragon back again. You can mill 2 more because it's a soft once per turn, meaning once per copy, and it's recognized as a new copy. And then you can go into your Infinity over your Nova, and you have Infinity and a Rampage that's going to be swinging for a whole lot of damage. Cyberload Fusion and Overflow. Assuming you have your Cyber Dragons in your graveyard, and you can set your Overflow and your Overload Fusion. So on your opponent's turn, they're doing their plays, you can activate your Overflow and banish your cards, blowing up like their monsters or what have you. And then like right after that chain resolves, or in the end phase, or whenever you feel is the best time to do it, you can activate your Cyberload Fusion, shuffling all those cards right back into your deck, bringing out your Rampage and blowing up their back row also, which really fun and upsets people when you can overflow and pop their monsters, then they set 3 and go to the end phase, and then you activate Cyberload Fusion, bring out Rampage, and then blow up their back row, and now they have absolutely nothing, and you're not restricted to can't attack for this turn with other monsters because you Cyberloaded on your opponent's turn. So on your turn, Rampage can attack, anything else you summon can also attack. Gizmic Orochi, for whether you're playing it in Pure or in Orcust. If you're playing it in Pure, it's more so a play you're going to make, because in Orcust you're going to get out Dingirsu anyway. But say your opponent's going first, you can, if you open Gizmic Orochi, you can use its effect to summon itself, and then on your turn when you summon any Cyber Dragon, you can contact them into Fortress, and then you can resummon this from your graveyard and overlay Fortress and Orochi into Dingirsu. Just a neat little interaction for those playing that engine. So now we're going to cover some combos, whether they're basic or complex, however you want to view it, and I'll try and break it down the best I can for you guys. So say you want to end with Almirage, Infinity, and Overflow, popping 2 or 3. This hand, Overflow will pop 3. If you had Core Dupe, that's a 2-card combo, does the same thing, but you're only going to pop 2 more than likely. If you happen to detach from Cyber Dragon Infinity and then chain your Overflow, you will have 3 in the graveyard, so it is possible. Or scratch that, just don't listen to me. For this combo, you can do that to pop your 3, but I like to recycle my core, which we'll cover here shortly, so just ignore those last like 10 seconds. Any hand that can summon 3 monsters, 2 of which being level 5, you can't use your search, obviously, because we want to search out Overflow. That's why any hand that can do it, core being 1 monster, and then we're going to link it off for Almirage. So obviously we have our Galaxy Soldier essentially here. Soldier and hers we know puts out 2 Galaxy Soldiers, so we have our 3 monsters. So we're going to summon our Cyber Dragon core, go into our deck, adding Overflow to our hand, link off our Cyber Dragon core for Salamangreat Almirage. Now we can use our Repair Plant to get to our Galaxy Soldier. Pitching our Cyber Dragon Hertz to the graveyard to special summon our Galaxy Soldier. It doesn't matter what zone you go to. Chain link 1 and 2, Soldier and hers. More than likely, you're going to want Soldier as chain link 1, hers as chain link 2. So we'll grab our Cyber Dragon and our Galaxy Soldier. Then pitching our Cyber Dragon to special summon the other Galaxy Soldier. Overlaying our 2 level 5s. Into Cyber Dragon Nova. Now this is the point where there's 2 different routes we're going to cover here. One, you would detach, kind of how I talked about in the play section, and special summoning our hers in attack position, so that we can go Cyber Dragon Infinity now. And then we would overlay our Infinity absorbed Cyber Dragon hers, so when we negate on our opponent's turn, we can detach hers right away and add core back to our hand. And we have hers and Cyber Dragon in the graveyard, so we can pop 2 with our overflow. Now let's assume at this point you happen to also open Cyframe Gamma in your hand. Now you can send your whatever you bring back off Nova and your Almirage to the graveyard to special summon our Cyframe Lambda. So now you can use Gamma in hand, have Infinity, and pop 3 with your overflow. And that's the same thing, hand that summons 3 monsters, 2 of which being a level 5. Now let's assume you want to do a little bit more with your deck going first. Say you open Core Dupe Extender. Any hand that can summon 5 monsters, 3 of which being our level 5s. This one will have 4 level 5s, but any hand that can summon 5 monsters, 3 of which being level 5s, can do this for their turn. Since we have Galaxy Soldier Core, we are going to search out our Cyber Emergency, and then you're going to use your Cyber Emergency right away, so that way you can get your Cyber Dragon hers. We're also going to then use Machine Duplication on our Cyber Dragon Core, summoning 2 Cyber Dragons. Now sending Core and one of your level 5 Cyber Dragons to the graveyard to special summon our IP Masquerena. Send Core or hers to the graveyard to special summon Galaxy Soldier, Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. In this case, to help keep our machine dupes live, like we mentioned earlier, this is another way to do it. Grab your Cyber Dragon back from your graveyard, not the one out of your deck, just to keep that extra dupe target in the deck, so if you happen to draw into dupe, you can still use it. Get our Galaxy Soldier. Discarding that level 5 Cyber Dragon, we add it back from the graveyard to summon our Cyber Dragon or our Galaxy Soldier. Overlaying the 2 soldiers to go into Cyber Dragon Nova. Detach 1 to summon our level 5 Cyber Dragon back. Overlay Infinity on top of our Nova. And now this play, there's 2 different ways you can do this part now. If you happen to open Gamma here, you can use your 2 level 5s and go into your Lambda. And then on your opponent's turn, when you, I guess we'll cover that here in a second. For this, we're just going to stick with what I was starting on. Our double rank 5s, we're going to overlay, oops, that's not what we wanted. Overlay our 2 level 5 Cyber Dragons. Thought I hit top of deck. Viewing to get back our Cyber Dragon. So like I said, overlay our 2 Cyber Dragons into Constellar Pleiades. And now you can use your negate and destroy, bounce a card back to their hand, And then after you bounce it, you can Masquerena and Pleiades into Nightmare Unicorn and bounce a card back to their deck. Otherwise, if you happen to have Gamma in your hand, you could use your 2 Cyber Dragons and go into your Lambda instead of your Pleiades. So when you use your Gamma on your opponent's turn now, you get to your driver. So now you would still have 1 card in hand for your discard, but your Masquerena and your driver can go into your Unicorn. So you get your Gamma negate and destroy, your Infinity negate and destroy, and then your Unicorn bounce. But more importantly, your driver's in the graveyard now, so your other 2 Gammas in your deck are once again not bricks. You want to try and do every little thing you can to make your deck as least bricky as possible. So once again, that's any hand that can summon 5 monsters, which at least 3 of them are level 5s. For the Lambda play, only 2 of them would have to be level 5s just to get you to your Nova. So 5 monsters, 2 of which are level 5s. Now if we're going to go for our OTK, there's really 2 main ways that we can do it. Seeger, Nova, and Cyber Dragon, or Seeger Rampage. That's the more likely to OTK is the Seeger Rampage. More likely to be able to do it with your hand is Seeger, Nova, and Cyber Dragon. So the easiest way to Seeger, Nova, Cyber Dragon is a hand that summons 4 monsters, 2 of which are level 5s. So here we have Core. The Search is our second monster because we're going to search out our Rev system. You could also search out Emergency, add Fear to your hand, and then when you dupe and summon 2 Cyber Dragons, Fear would obviously hit the board, and you would have your 4 monsters that way. So we're going to summon our Core, searching out our Rev system. It's in here somewhere. Using our machine duplication on our Cyber Dragon Core to special summon our 2 Cyber Dragons from our deck. Linking off Core and 1 of our Cyber Dragons for Cyber Dragon Seeger. Cyber Rev system then, bringing back our level 5 Cyber Dragon. Overlaying our 2 level 5s. And then we're going to Nova detach and summon level 5 Cyber Dragon back from our graveyard. So now you'd go to the battle phase. Seeger can boost Nova up to 4,200, and then Seeger can still attack a monster to get it out of the way to help you hit for your 8,400 direct. Because then Cyber Dragon can attack for 21, and Nova can banish our Cyber Dragon to boost himself now to 63 because he already had 21 from Seeger. So 21 plus 63 equals 84. If you happen to open a extender up with your Core dupe and you're going for the OTK, any extender or just Cyberload Fusion on its own, then Core's search would go for Cyberload Fusion if you open the extender. And we would overlay our Cyber Dragon Infinity here. So that'd be 2,500 attack. It'd be 46 after Seeger boosts it. And then you could go into your Cyber Twin and attack for an additional 5,600 on top of the 46 you're already doing. Yes, you can keep Nova and banish your Cyber Dragon and attack for the 63 and deal even more damage that way. But I like to go into Infinity when I have this option because now I have the negate to protect myself against something that they may try to do in the battle phase. The other OTK being the Seeger Rampage. This is any way to put 2 Cyber Dragons on board to link off into your Seeger and then having Overload Fusion. So you can special summon your Cyber Dragon, chaining our Fear. Obviously, if they don't have monsters, this hand wouldn't work, but more often than not, they will have one. then linking them both off into our Cyber Dragon Seeger, Overload Fusion, banishing both of them to get to our Chimera Tech Rampage. At this point, you could even pop some back row, but then just mill 2. Battle Phase Seeger is going to boost your Rampage up to 4,200 attack, and he can attack 3 times for 12,600. And again, Seeger can still attack a monster to clear it out of the way. These are the 2 most common OTKs that you're going to do. Otherwise, Cyber Dragons are really a deck that plays with what you're given and what you're against, meaning it's going to be different based off your hand and your opponent's board every single time. You just got to know the deck in and out and the different situations you can play yourself out of. These next 2 combos are for the VFD combo and Cyber Dragon Orcust. We're going to do the Orcust combo first. Both are essentially the same hands that you can do everything with. It's summon 5 monsters, 4 of which are level 5s. So with this one, Core Dupe Extender, that is our most common theme, at least until we get future cards. Pretty much all of our plays are going to require at least 3 cards, Core Dupe Extender being the most efficient way to do it. Obviously, you can replace Machine Duplication with 2 other extenders to make them all 4-card combos, and it is still completely doable. But Core Dupe Extender, summon 5 monsters, 4 level 5s. Here, Core is going to search Emergency so that our Hers Soldier is 2, Machine Dupe is 3 and 4. Core is our 5th monster, but we have our level 5s. So as I said, summon Core, getting our Emergency. We're going to play it right away to get our Hers into our hand. And then Machine Duplication on Core. Special summoning our 2 Cyber Dragons. Now we're going to overlay our 2 Cyber Dragons for our first rank 5, and that is Infinitrack Riverstormer. We then detach one of our Cyber Dragons using his effect to add our Scrap Recycler to our hand on Earth Machine Monster. Then linking your Riverstormer and your Core off into our Platinum Gadget. Discarding Hers to the graveyard. Special Summon Soldier. Chainlink 1 and 2. Again, Hers, we're going to grab Cyber Dragon from our graveyard, keeping our Machine Dupes live. And then getting our Galaxy Soldier from the deck. Sending to the graveyard our Cyber Dragon to special summon our other Galaxy Soldier. Overlaying the 2 soldiers for our next rank 5 play, being Cyber Dragon Nova. Detaching a soldier to just summon any Cyber Dragon. You just want the body on board at this point. Now here, remember your zone placements for all this. So we're going to overlay our Infinity, but we're going to get him on the... get him kind of further and over out of the way more so. Now, Platinum Gadget's effect to special summon our Scrap Recycler. Scrap Recycler's now effect to dump our Harp Horror to the graveyard. Now, since Platinum Gadget can't get linked off the turn it's summoned, you can, however, tribute it using Riverstormer's graveyard effect to special summon Riverstormer. And now here, actually, since we did that, you could absorb your Hers with your Infinity, meaning you can get your Core back on your next turn. Otherwise, banishing our Orcust Harp Horror to special summon our Orcust Nightmare. Now we're going to go into our Galatea. So using our Nightmare and any of these monsters, we'll say Scrap Recycler, going into Galatea. Galatea, River Stormer, and go into our Longirsu. Nightmare's effect to banish itself, dumping to the grave our Orcust Symbol Skeleton, which we're going to banish Symbol Skeleton right away then to special summon our Galatea. Galatea's effect returning Heart Pourer more than likely back to your deck in order to set our Crescendo. Now you can overlay your Dingirsu using either one, then effect to attach your Symbol Skeleton to your Dingirsu. And then, like I said, here in this example, you could then absorb your hers with your Cyber Dragon Infinity, so you can get your core back on your turn when you negate one of your opponent's cards. And that's the Cyber Orcust play. And then the VFD combo, the only difference is off of your River Stormer, you would search out the Infinitrack Anchor Drill. And then using Platinum, your Nova, you'd bring back the level 5 Cyber Dragon. Platinum Gadget, special summon your Anchor Drill. Anchor Drill effect targeting the level 5. Their levels added together is 9, so they both become 9s, and then you overlay into your True King of All Calamities and have VFD and Cyber Dragon Infinity as your end board. This is a fun little thing. Actually, I just saw someone asking about Infernal Reckless Summon again. I do really like it, and this is my most recent pure build, and this is just a fun play you can do with it. Going second, you would have 2 more cards, assuming, because you have 5 to start with and you get your first draw. You could replace the Rev System and Soldier here with Machine Duplication, but I just wanted to show you guys a hand that doesn't involve Machine Dupe. So summon your Cyber Dragon core. Search out our emergency. Using our emergency then to get our hurts. For this combo, you need anything that summons 3 machines, and you have a way to trigger your Infernal Reckless Summon. So discard our hers. Soldier, Chain Links 1 and 2 once again. Getting Cyber Dragon and Galaxy Soldier. Cyber Dragon to special summon Galaxy Soldier. Then Soldier and Core to the graveyard. I don't know if I have the right link in here for this. We're going to go into Seeger first. And then Seeger will be in the extra monster zone. So Seeger to the grave and Galaxy Soldier both to the graveyard now. And this isn't my updated deck list, but let's pretend Lambda here is Cliffort Genius. So we summon or use our our Cyber Rev System, special summoning our core, which then on summon triggers Infernal Reckless Summon, and since it's Cyber Dragon, obviously your opponent would need a monster, and they are going to get up to 2 more copies of said monster. But we will summon our Seeger back, Cyber Dragon, and its hand, deck, and graveyard. Infernal Reckless Summon's an amazing top deck, because one of the best ways to trigger it is banishing core from your graveyard to summon a Cyber Dragon from your deck. Otherwise, 1-for-1, Rev System, Naxter, Nova, so many ways to activate it. And now since we summon to both of Cliffort's arrows at the same time, you can get Kaiju to your hand, meaning we can Kaiju one of our opponent's monsters now. And then, so then Kaiju and, we Kaiju'd their monster, overlaying now our 2 of our level 5s into Nova. We still have a Cyber Dragon in Graveyard, so you can use the effect to detach, summon Cyber Dragon back, overlay for Infinity, and odds are the monster they summoned 1 to 2 more of was in a face up, meaning more than likely attack position. So now Infinity can absorb 1 monster. We already Kaiju'd another monster, so we just got rid of 2 of the 2 monsters that they happened to plus off of. And then we can go into another rank 5 here, being our Pleiades. Detaching Cyber Dragon to bounce their 3rd monster. So they went from 3 monsters to having 2 monsters and to having 1 Kaiju. So they had 1 monster, Infernal Reckless, someone gave them 2 more. We absorbed 1 with Infinity, we bounced 1 with Pleiades, and we Kaiju'd 1. If you really wanted to, you could even bounce Kaiju back to your hand with your Pleiades. And then here you could say Kaiju and Core for Fortress. So in other words, we cleared out their 1 monster, and we end with Cliffort Genius, Pleiades, Infinity, a 2000 Fortress, and Cyber Dragon Seeger. Really fun things you can do with Infernal Reckless Summon. Obviously with power cards and things like this, the deck itself may not be as consistent, but it is really fun and can do a lot of cool things. So feel free to try it out, let me know how it goes. As for the whole video, I really hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry it went on a little bit longer than I had planned on, but hopefully it was thorough enough for you guys, and this helps you guys win your locals, top a regional, maybe even win, or just get your invites for nationals. And as always, like, share, subscribe. We appreciate it so much here at Teamsetpass, and can't wait till next time.